projects, things that you guys have going on, and YouTube. Happy you guys are here. Happy to be talking to you guys again. It's been a while. So DLive YouTube, hope you guys are doing well and working on stuff. Like I said, the last month we had a lot of things going on. We'll talk about that later. And for right now, we're going to play catch up, how you guys are doing, the things that you guys are working on, things that needs to be worked on when we're talking about seeds and gardening and projects, things in the works, all that good stuff. We've been staying busy. We are right now working on a loom. We just picked up a loom. My daughter tried it out at a craft fair last year, and it was a lot of fun. We have local artists that get together, a couple of fairs here and there. It's like all around the country. And she spent, I want to say, a good half an hour on the loom. So we did some research, found a really good one. I think it was from an elementary school out west, hardly used. Got it here, and now we're just piecing it out, what needs to be done, how to set it up. And then that's another skill that we're going to learn, something that we can use in the future going forward. So we're working on that one on top of everything else. We do have projects, things we're going to talk about. I brought some samples, things that we can talk about. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's see here. Yeah, again, with the news and everything else, I will say this about the things that are going with Ukraine and Russia is nothing. I have been reading articles, seeing a lot of footage, mostly from one side. I haven't really seen anything from the Russian side. You see a lot of video and pictures and interviews with Russian soldiers who were captured or basically trying to explain what was their rationale from going into Ukraine. I don't know much else outside of I have just questions. A lot of what's coming out makes me question more things than makes sense of anything. So with that being said, I think it's safe to say I will not be covering anything about that, only because if we learn anything from the last 2+ years is that you got to wait and get more facts and information. If more things make more sense, then we could talk about that. But in the meantime, I don't want to be one of those channels who says, hey, check this out, and then have to retract that or make corrections the next day. And that's unfortunately happened to a lot of channels that even I follow and watch. The normal protocol is wait and see what happens when you have more information, and we haven't really gotten that. So I have more questions, a lot of things that don't make sense, but what we can learn from that is there are a lot of disruptions, more so now because of what's going on over there when it comes to wheat and crops, fertilizers and chemicals, things that are going to greatly impact our farmers here and farmers around the world when it comes to growing food and replenishing the reserves that we have tapped into. So the best thing we can do is keep doing what you're doing, keep working on your preps, keep working on projects, supplies, and all that good stuff. So for that, we're going to kick off and talk about seeds. And I have my seeds that we've gotten 2 different deliveries. We're waiting on a 3rd. And for example, we have some that we have here are corn. Some are good for popping. Some are good for grains that you can mill down into flour. We have amaranth. Great little seeds, a lot of great nutrition. In the right conditions, this will flourish tremendously. We have buckwheat. Buckwheat is great, not just for grinding into flour, for pancakes, for example, but great for adding in nitrogen into the soil. So if you grow corn or pumpkins or squash or something into the soil, you can plant buckwheat into the fall. It grows between 4 to 6 weeks. You can chop it up, put that back into the soil for some great biomass and nitrogen into the soil. So next year you're ready to go again. Barley, some celery. This is something I want to try again this year. These are one of a couple plants that I always have problems with. I got basil. I have a great sense of herbs, onions. These will hold up really well in cold storage for the wintertime. And you can dehydrate them or keep them in a cool, dry location. Some more onions. And really excited about this one. I couldn't get this for 2 years. Sugar beets. This is great for making your own sugar. In fact, we talked about this a while ago when it came to World War I and II and how people survived growing their own food and preserving their own food, especially when it came to food rationing. And with the sugar beets, the tops were great for feeding your chickens or cows or goats. And the beets itself, great source of sugar. You can boil this down and create your own sugar. When we grow that this year, I want to definitely make a video trying that. I've been wanting to do that for a couple of years now. Finally got some seeds in my hands, and I'm really excited to try that. So that is one of 2 bags we have right now. And the great thing is when the seeds do come in, we take some paper and we draw out the garden, and we know exactly where they're going to go. And the layout and the rotation and the dates. What we do is we turn them over and we look at the dates and write down when to start growing. Some are great in cool weather. Some really need to wait till like 60s and 70s to grow. But once we do get them going, it's a lot of good, busy fun that's going to keep us going all the way up until fall. So we got that. And I think in the other bag, we have rutabagas. I'm really excited about the rutabagas. Something else that comes up in the comment section, which you guys are great when it comes to working together and sharing your own thoughts and opinions and things that you've done, things that your family has done for a long time, depending on where you live in the country, and how productive you are with the land. And that is sweeteners. And I want to bring out just a few samples of things that are going to last a long time. Very, very long time. Outlive you if you leave it unopened. But molasses is a great one. Depending on where you live and the climate, you can make this. This one I'm not able to, so I'm going to stock up on that one. Honey. You can have your own beehive. You can wax honey. This will last you forever. It's a great antiseptic from the white foam on top. Great natural sweetener. Agave syrup is another great one too. If you're diabetic or watching your sugar, this is a great low glycemic sweetener option. Really good to have on hand. So again, mix it up. Have a little bit of everything. Either for bartering or for personal consumption. It's good to have a wide variety because we've talked about this a few times when it comes to variety of foods. And sweetness, for example, is food fatigue. Food fatigue was something that we read about and learned during World War I and World War II, depending on what country you were in. England, for example, had 2/3 of their food and supplies imported. And then when the war kicked off, they had to immediately start working the land and getting ready to till the soil, plant the seeds, what they could during the cold months, and then in the coming years, keep the rotation going. So there's a lot of learning curves. And again, it's being creative and learning that now, learning what works now, what doesn't work, what you need to work, the soil, how healthy is your soil. So I say this year, grab yourself some seeds, plant, and if you have been, keep learning. This is a continuous learning curve, growing, absolutely. You can have late frost one year, which I did experience a couple of years ago, lost a bunch of plants. You can have a lot of drought. So it's how adaptive you can be with the land, how to get used to the land, how to read the land. At some point, you can look at the ground and realize how dry it is or how much work it needs, how to rotate the areas where you do plant. That's why it's good to learn and look and research people who have done this for years, how people survived during the wars and the challenges that they overcame during those times, working to put back nutrition back into the soil. There's one story that came from World War II where they actually steamed the soil. They would take it out section by section and steam it to kill off anything that might have gotten in there. So again, it's trial and error. It's practicing now, learning new skills. Always be willing to learn new skills and try. That's how you overcome challenges. If you have to fix something or mend something. We've been sewing for years, and now we acquired a loom. So now we can get really creative with our projects. So again, get online, see what other people have been doing, look at their skills, listen to their knowledge and stories. That's probably the best way to learn is through stories and documentaries. more so from the Great Depression, how people survived that, to the wars. A lot of that has not been passed down over the years, especially more sadly recent times in our own history. So take advantage of the fact that we have the internet and you have sources of podcasts and stories. If you have anyone that is older in your family, pick their brains, say, hey, how did grandpa or grandma get through these times from years past? Learn to be adaptable, learn to be reliable and self-reliant for not only yourself, but your family and those around you in the coming challenging times. So whatever may happen or come, just do the best you can and get ready. Speaking of whatever may come down the pipeline, something that I did stock up on, and think I think I might have it nearby because I haven't sent that off yet. So let me go see if I can find that. I don't have it. I don't know where I put it, but it is Pectin. Pectin is, hey, how are you? Hey, hoodies. Pectin is something that I just recently learned that would be very useful and resourceful if there were nuclear fallout. And it's important to do your own research and, again, come up with backup plans, not just masks and filters and duct tape and how to hunker in place. But if you do leave and you have to deal with that, during the Chernobyl disaster, a lot of villagers saw that a lot of children were getting ill and vomiting and not feeling right. And so what they discovered was apple juice with the pectin inside. When they consumed it, actually helped pass some of that radiation from their bodies. Iodide, the tablets, you cannot find anywhere online right now, unfortunately. Those are sold out or back ordered, if you're lucky to even see that. So if you have those, you are great. You're in good condition. What that does is it fills up the thyroid to help not absorb any radiation if that were to come in contact with your body. So what it does is it fills it up, and it's like a protective layer so the thyroid does not absorb that, and it'll actually pass through the system. So if you have the pectin or apple juice, if you can do that, great option to have. And again, it's getting creative. It's looking online and seeing how people survived these situations or got through these situations. That was just a dumb luck story that I saw in a video from a while ago about how families survived and treated their children when they were ill. And these were old school ways of knowledge. Nowadays, I can tell you right now that I never would have guessed to consume apple juice if that were the case. So I did order some pectin capsules. I think they're like $11 for like 120 of them online from the supplement company. Now was one of them that I shopped and I got. So I got a few bottles of that for not only us or those around us. If anything weird were to happen, you can throw them a bottle and say, here, try this and good luck. So look up that knowledge, look up those stories. Stories are probably the biggest thing that's going to help us because these are firsthand accounts of people who survive these things and live through it, and creative ways of getting through these situations. So get creative, listen to stories, watch documentaries. These are very resourceful right now. Write this information down, print out the stories or the books. Hard copies are going to be very important, especially if the lights go out. So have a hard copy of all the good stuff. So we talked about the sweeteners, the aqua lamp. This is right now currently on YouTube. Still my top 3 watch videos is the aqua lamp and salt water and the ferro rod inside here. You get great bright light. I actually have a video if you want to check that out. It's very bright. I turned off all the lights in here and it worked very well. And when you're done with it, empty out the salt water, dry off the ferro rod, and you're in great condition. No batteries, no solar panels, none of that. So the aqua lamp, great. I bought that for I think $20 a few years ago. So definitely worth the investment and the research into that. Very good to have. So we talked about the sweetener options, helping to avoid food fatigue, the seeds, and the map when you do actually get your seeds, where to put things, plan it out now so you know where to go and where to put things. And other than that, business is doing really well. We have freshly stocked up the strawberry hot chocolate, and we actually have a baker's special for this month in March. We have 3 of these. We have the birthday cake, chocolate chip cookies, and we have this one right here, the birthday cake, the chocolate chip cookie, and we have the lovely face cream. Stock that one up as well. So again, cold weather, hot weather, if you're sunburned or chapped and cold, great stuff to have. Is clean, organic, and it's a great way to support the show and take care of yourself. So definitely stock up on things while you can. And again, if you have any comments or ideas you want to leave down below in the comment section to help out one another, or links to podcasts or stories or books, definitely share that. We will be being more active outside when we start planting and gardening. So we're going to be doing that soon. Very much looking forward to that. And listening to you guys, whatever it is that you're planting or projects you're working on, please keep us up to date with those. I know you guys are very busy and very creative, and those are fun projects to watch and stay on top of. So keep working at those. I'm sure we'll be swapping ideas, and I'll be asking you for some tips because there's a couple of projects we're going to be working on. And I know you guys, some of you are really handy with wood and tools. So definitely going to be looking out for my questions coming at you. So with that being said, if you don't have anything else, this will be on replay. So if you guys want to, again, share information and thoughts, ideas, please do so. We are back in the regular rotation again when it comes to Monday shows. In addition to weekend shows, we're going to be outside working the garden, feeding it, updating it, and working on anything outside. We have the plane we're still working on. We're going to be learning how to weld. I'm really excited. The Cristavia is, I want to say 80% together. We have to send it off to be sandblasted, and then we'll be doing some patches and then working from there. I'm debating if we should do a separate channel or just share that on here in a different way. But if you guys want to see that progress with the wings and the fuselage we have right now, let me know in the comments below. If you guys want to learn how to build a plane or just watch us do this, let us know. Gardening, definitely on the weekends and more often. I'm excited. It's getting warmer out. Like right now, it is 45 degrees. And it's, what time is it? It's almost 7:30. I'm really excited. So it is getting warmer. It's getting upper 60s later this week. March, you still have to be careful because you're still going to have those ebbs and flows of cold weather and warm weather. So we're getting there. So keep working on your plans. Keep writing them down. Learn those skills. If it's a craft or a way to fix something in the future or mend something, build something, that's going to be tremendous going forward. So with that being said, we're going to close off here and then pick up again Monday with charts and data and stories and news, going back to everything else that's happening, and try to keep up with that because it's very tricky to stay on top of that. So with that being said, YouTube, be well, be safe, keep working on your projects, keep any comments or ideas, tips and tricks to help out one another in the comment below, and we'll talk to you next Monday. And then